This is a Panda XPB36 portable washing machine. I originally bought this to put in the closet of my RV, and I want to plumb it up semi-permanent, and I'll do a video later on how I do that. But just demonstrates what the machine is, how big it is, how it operates. It's pretty slick, really. It's got two doors on top, and one of them is where you do your wash. It has a simple agitator down on the bottom. Pretty simple. And the second door is the spin cycle. And it doesn't heat and dry, it just spins and dries. There's a little door there, and a tub that spins. And it spins really, really quickly. It's a 3-knob control. And it's basically just timers. So it agitates for however many minutes you set it to, and then it spins for how many minutes you set it to, and then the center knob, you change it from wash to drain. It hooks up to the kitchen sink or bathroom sink or wherever you want. When I put it in the RV, I'm going to permanently hook it up, and I have some ideas on that. I'll show you how. And the drain's the same way. You just kind of hook it over the sink, and it has a pump inside. It'll pump it out. Okay, there are two ports that the machine uses to fill water. The left side is for the washing machine, and the right side is for the rinse cycle. So you're supposed to disconnect that, move it over to the rinse cycle, and use that when you're rinsing. But like I said, later on, I'll put this in an RV, and I'll show you how I'm going to deal with that. Some of the reviews on Amazon complain about the size, and I find you can put a couple of good work pants and a couple of shirts in just fine. These are just standard, everyday, like a EMT type pants. They're pretty thick, they're not real thin, and a standard shirt. And you can see if I throw those in there, there's plenty of room for some more. Let's turn on the sink and put a little bit of water in the tub. And you can put hot or cold in there, doesn't really matter. I'm putting warm in right now. It takes about a gallon or two for a single pair of pants and maybe a shirt, which would be ideal for an RV. Okay, so I put probably maybe a gallon and a half in here. I put just enough to make the clothes float. You could easily do a couple of days of pants and shirts. It's pretty small, but like I said, 2 days of clothes it'll easily do. I'm going to close the lid, turn the timer on, and just for demonstration I'll put on a few minutes. And it's pretty quiet. It's not real loud. You know, again, it's perfect for an RV, maybe a small apartment. And if you look inside while it's running, you can see it's really, really, really agitating the clothes. And it'll kick it backwards like that and forwards like that until the timer's done. And I've put some pretty soiled clothes in here, and they can turn out pretty clean, really. Okay, so after the wash is done, all you have to do is move the clothes from the washer to the dryer. And then there's this little spin tub. And the spin tub is a little small, so if you did a couple days of clothes and wash, you'd probably have to dry each pair out on its own. But it's adequate. You close the lid, close this up, turn the timer on, and so she balances out like that. She'll smooth out, and it spins really, really fast, as you can hear, and it's a little bit noisy, but it does a surprisingly good job. And I find if you run it for about 5 minutes or so, it'll dry the clothes out just a little bit of time hand drying with drying. And you can see it's got a pump in it, so it does pump the water out up high at the sink. So while it's in spin cycle, you'll want to give it a quick spot of fresh water there, and it'll help rinse the tub out. And I usually just give it, you know, literally a quick spray, and you can kind of hear it wash in there. That's usually plenty. And like I said, after about 2 to 3 minutes, it dries out pretty well. They're pretty dry to the touch. I don't think you'd want to wear them right afterwards, but maybe an hour of dry time in the sun, they'd be dry. Okay, it's finished its spin cycle. And like I said, the biggest reviews on here is people complain that it doesn't dry clothes, and it doesn't dry clothes because the spin dries them, which doesn't get them super dry, but it gets them dry enough. And you can see the shirt looks pretty dry, but it just feels just a tad wet. It's just enough that you wouldn't want to wear it, but it still does a pretty good job for spin dry. And the pants are the same way. They're just a little bit moist, but for the most part, I think just a little bit of air time, air drying, they would be great. So that's my review of the XPB36 Panda washing machine. You can buy that on Amazon for about 170 bucks. A little bit of shipping on there, you might be around $200. But like I said, it'd be great for an apartment, yeah, maybe an RV or closet of an RV or a single guy.